everyone and welcome to my video. Thank you for joining me for all your latest Barcelona news. Today we're going to be talking about all the international games, and that will be the Nations League and the World Cup qualifiers. We'll also be talking about the board's wage decrease demands, the recent COVID-19 news and how that is going to affect the upcoming Champions League games, and new exciting news for both Ansu and Serginho Dest. All of that is coming up, but we'll first start with Messi and Argentina and how they got on in their World Cup qualifier match against Bolivia. So the match did end 2-1 on the night, and Messi didn't get either of the goals, but Correa and Lautaro Martinez, the Barcelona linked player, did score to make it 2-1 for Argentina, and that was the first win since 2005 that Argentina have won at Bolivia. And after the game, Messi was visually extremely happy with the win for Argentina, and he hugged all of his teammates and all the coaching staff after the game. But there was a very heated discussion between Messi and the Bolivian manager after the game, and there was a lot of pushing and shoving going on between the two teams. But that's pretty standard because that always seems to happen between these two teams, especially when the World Cup qualifiers are involved. And after those two games that Argentina have played, that does put them second with 2 wins and only second to goal difference. But just going back to the game, and at half time Messi was asked how he's feeling during the game, and he did say, and I quote, "I'm dead," and that was due to exhaustion that he has been feeling. Because Barca have been playing every 3 or 4 days, he's been training pretty much every day, even when he's had a day off, and he's had to fly back to South America to obtain his international duties. And just to put the amount of games that he will be playing into numbers, from the 16th of September to the 30th of December, Messi will be playing a total of 27 games in all competitions for club and country. So that is a lot of games when you take all the training sessions into account in between, all the Champions League games, and he'll have to be travelling for that, and travelling back and forth to South America. And at the age of 33, so this might be the first time in a very long time that we might not see Messi start every single game. But Leo did return home to Barcelona yesterday, and he has been in training today. But now on to Coutinho and Brazil did win 4-2 in Peru, with Coutinho playing 69 minutes. He didn't get in the score sheet, but Neymar did score a hat-trick on the night. And after Brazil's first 2 World Cup qualifiers, they are at the top of the table with 6 points and only ahead of Argentina on goal difference. But during Coutinho's time in Brazil, he did have an interview with Goal magazine, and he did say, "I have returned to Barca wanting to work hard. I'm very motivated and happy. I want to achieve great things. This means winning titles. I intend to maintain this good form that I'm in, a form of joy and great confidence." And I think what he said there is definitely translated to the pitch. Since he has returned to Barca, everything that he said there he has done and more. He's definitely been in great form, and I definitely want to see that in the upcoming games for Barca, because there's a lot of important games coming up soon. Now on to the Nations League games in Europe. And the Netherlands and De Jong were away at Italy, and it was a 1-1 draw. De Jong played the whole game and was quite happy with this result, but he hasn't been quite as happy with the results in the past few days, because he even said in the 0-0 draw against Bosnia that it was a disappointing draw, and he wasn't able to play the game against Mexico where the Netherlands did lose 1-0, and Frankie de Jong did have a minor injury, that's why he couldn't play. But de Jong had a great game against Italy. He played so well that even the Italy manager Mancini said this about him: "Frankie de Jong played an incredible game of football. What a midfielder that he is, one of the best at the moment. As an enthusiast of the sport, I can only enjoy that." And that is a testament to how well he actually played in that match, that the opposite manager praises him in that way. And it was fully deserved because he absolutely bossed the midfield. He was playing killer passes, he was going forward, he was coming back, he helped in every department that he could. And as a Barca fan, I am so happy that we have him in our midfield, and he's still so young at 23. But he is also among the players who have returned home from international duties, and he has been in training today. Croatia versus France was also on yesterday, with a victory for France winning 2-1. Antoine Griezmann did score on the night on the 8th minute, and he was subbed off on the 83rd minute. And I can't really remember the last time that Griezmann played the full 90 minutes. We have to go back quite a long time. But when he did score, he did hit us with a classic Griezmann goal celebration. And that is always good to see from Griezmann. We also had Clement Longley for France, and he did play the full 90 minutes. But after the game, there was some very interesting comments from Griezmann. And he did say, "I feel good. The coach knows where to put me. I take advantage of this situation, this place, and the confidence of my coach and my teammates." So there he is talking about his French manager and his French teammates in a positive light, but you can't help but think that he is talking about Barca inadvertently in a negative light. And that does sort of feel like he's saying Didier Deschamps, the French manager, knows where to put him and Ronald Koeman doesn't. And to say he takes advantage of the confidence of his teammates, that also does feel like he is referencing indirectly his Barca teammates. And I do think he has somewhat of a point, because in the last game against Sevilla, Barca only had around 10% of their attacks coming down the right side when Griezmann was playing, and when Griezmann came off, it went up to 30%. And you can look at that two different ways. Griezmann should be doing more to get the attacks going down the right hand side, or the Barca teammates should trust Griezmann more and have more confidence in him so that he can run down the right side. You can make up your own opinion what you think it actually is, but I think it's actually a mix of both. But no matter how you look at it, Barca will have to introduce rotation in the coming games, because we do have Getafe on Saturday, and then we will have 6 games in 18 days. So if Antoine Griezmann is the problem himself, I'm sure Dembele, Trincao and Pedri will all get their chance. So if it is him, it will come to light. And the players I have just mentioned will get their opportunities. Now on to some of the announcements around the Barcelona board. And in my last video, I did mention that the Barcelona board were trying to get a wage cut for the players and everyone under the Barcelona badge. And they have now announced that they'll be looking for a 30% cut for everyone. And this news has not gone down well with the Barcelona first team players, because they have decided to lawyer up in anticipation to this upcoming news. And if the Barcelona board do try to enforce this rule and make it mandatory, they will be getting their lawyers involved and take this to court. And that is a bad thing for everyone, and that is not a direction anyone wants to go down, because that's just going to waste a lot of time and money. But if we can't get the fans into the stadium, then this 30% wage cut might have to be mandatory. Because the regional health minister for Barcelona has ruled out fans watching the games for the Champions League at the Camp Nou. We were hoping that fans could return to the Camp Nou at the start of November, but that is not looking like it's going to be realistic now. And on top of that, Ronaldo and McKennie has tested positive for COVID-19 for Juventus, and the Champions League match between Barcelona and Juventus is in serious doubts on whether or not it's going to happen. In which case Juventus would have to forfeit that match and Barcelona would get the automatic win. And we don't want that to happen, and we don't want Ronaldo to miss this game, because we haven't seen a head-to-head between Messi and Ronaldo for 2 or 3 years. And now that Ronaldo and Messi are in 2 different leagues, how many more head-to-heads are we going to get to see before one of them retires? So I really do hope that this game is able to go ahead, and I do hope that Ronaldo can make this and does recover in time for the match. But lastly on the board, and we have got a date for the vote of no confidence against Bartomeu and his board, and it will be on the 1st and 2nd of November. So at the very latest on the 3rd of November we will know if Barcelona will have a new president or not. On to the players now who missed the training session today, and that was Francisco Trincao, because he has been in contact with Ronaldo, Jordi Alba and Junior Firpo. They are still on the injury list, and it is looking like Serginho Dest will start for the match against Getafe because they won't be able to make it. There's no exact date when either player will return, but it does look like Jordi Alba will return before the Clásico, but that is at the very earliest. But because we brought in young players like Serginho Dest, the average age of Barcelona's team has gone down tremendously. Because in the game against Bayern Munich, that was our oldest team in the Champions League history. So we've gone from that to our youngest ever team of an average age of 25.2 in just a couple of weeks. So if that wasn't a successful transfer window, I don't know what is. But lastly, I'm happy to announce that both Serginho Dest and Ansu Fati have made it to the finalists of the Golden Boy Award. So they are amongst 18 other under 21 players to make the top 20 young players of Europe's top leagues. And this is a very prestigious award. The sort of Ballon d'Or for the under 21-year-olds. And if one of them was to win, they would be amongst some of the very greatest young players of our time, because the award has only been around since 2003. And since then, players such as Messi, Rooney, Fabregas, Aguero, Pogba, Sterling, Mbappe, De Ligt have all won this award. So to be mentioned in the same breath as some of these great players is a great honour. But that is now everything from me, so thank you for joining me. Let me know what you think of what I've discussed in the comments. Let me know what you think of the video. So thank you very much, and bye.